What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today by two people, Roland Campa and Kerry Moloney from EFI. How are you guys all doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Great. Yeah, thanks for the invitation, Andy. We're doing great.
Oh, great to see you. Great to have you guys on the show. I wanted to talk a little bit about some high-level printing today. So, Roland, why don't you give us for the few people who may not know who EFI is, longtime company in this industry, especially production, graphic arts. Why don't you give us a little background on EFI?
Sure. Yeah. So EFI is a worldwide operating company in the print industry, a market leader in various spaces. We have a very broad offering from software-only solutions, DFEs that are controlling cut sheet devices, DFEs in the area of inkjet and high-speed inkjet areas. We even have our own inkjet printer production, ink. So it's really an entire solution, I would say, from anything in the prepress area all the way to DFEs controlling the printers in multiple markets. So from office, light production, heavy production, packaging, textile, it really spans over anything you can imagine print-wise. And yeah, multiple acquisitions have been made. So we have a very broad portfolio, I would say. And yeah, we are very proud about multiple innovations that we come up with on a recent base. And yeah, that's EFI, I would say.
Well, it's a very cool company. I remember when it was really was just all about the DFEs, those digital front ends, and that was it. But you guys have expanded into a lot of different areas. EFI Connect is a show that we've attended many times over the years, and the customer show that you guys are doing, I believe it's in January every year. Right. So just a great customer show. And so what is it that you guys both do? Kerry, why don't you tell us, what do you do? Where are you, first of all, and what do you do for EFI?
So I'm based in the UK, but I'm worldwide, if you like, product marketing manager looking after fiery products, including color, and that's kind of the topic that we're here to talk about today, but also multiple other products such as Campa workstation, which I think a lot of your viewers will have heard of, fiery products for display graphics, and also products like newer products like color guard and even fiery for ceramics and industrial. So quite a breadth of products that I market. I've been with EFI for 25 years. Ooh. So just recently celebrated the silver one.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Various roles within inside EFI, in marketing for the last 7, but always been in the graphic arts and print industry. That's all I've ever done. So yeah, that's kind of me.
Well, you have seen a change in that company. I mean, I've seen it from the outside, you've seen it from the inside, and you guys went from, I think a pretty small company to, I don't know if you passed it, but you were flirting at the $1 billion range for quite a while. So you're probably right. You're right around there, if not higher by now. And Roland, what is it? Where are you located, and what do you do? What's your role with EFI?
Yeah, I'm located in Ratingen. That's a small town in Germany. That's one of the branches from EFI. We have multiple branches in multiple regions and countries. And here we have, a couple of people in the area of sales, marketing, development, and QA, especially with a focus on color for the development area. Sales is more broader. They sell pretty much anything that EFI offers. I'm product line manager at EFI in the Fiery division, and I'm with the company since about 16 years. So also quite a while.
So you're
now.
The new guy.
In that context, compared to Kerry, yes, I am, I guess. I'm responsible for color in general at Fiery, and specifically for the products Fiery Color Profiler Suite and EFI Color Cards.
Very cool. Very cool. So we're going to talk a little today, especially with your two backgrounds. You can't beat this conversation. Let's talk about, you have something that you call the Fiery 6 C's of color management. So who wants that one? Tell me what that is. It's a big initiative for you guys. I've seen it in print a few times, but I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot more about it. So Kerry, do you want that one?
Yeah, I'll take a start. So the 6 C's concept is kind of based on the 3 C's concept, which is really something that's been around for a long time in the graphic arts and print industry to do with color management. So it's been around for decades, and one day Roland and I were kind of discussing sometimes how difficult it is to explain all of our color products, how they all fit together, and how it all knits together really without it scaring customers off. So we were just having that conversation one day, and as we worked through that, Roland, we kind of agreed that we've got the 5 C's of color management covered, which you can see here behind me, and we kind of got to the point where we were discussing it and elaborating on it a little bit more. And Roland mentioned that, PDFX conformance these days is just so important. If you don't get a transparency right and it prints the wrong color, whatever, you really are in trouble. It's the same as, producing a print that is incorrect because of a bad profile or something along those lines. So Roland pointed out that, really, PDFX compliance could be thought of as the 6 C's. So it's kind of along those lines. It was born from the original concept of the 3 C's, which, as we all know, has grown over time. Online, you can find the 3 C's, the 4 C's, the 5 C's. And yeah, we wanted to, introduce a sort of a more holistic look at that and bring in PDFX compliance as well. So that's kind of the origin of the 6 C's.
So moving that down a level, right? I mean, now you're putting that in front of your reseller community. What, as far as partners go, how does this help them specifically? What is this extra C, this new concept, this next level? What does this do as far as support and allowing you to work with your customers? What does this do for your partners? Roland.
Yes, I would say it provides a structure to talk about color and products in an easy way. And that is a very important thing in any conversation that is in the area of sales or something technical or educational. So the whole concept, I would say, was created for 2 reasons. First of all, for the channel partners, it's really not trivial to go to a customer and then have a sales pitch about multiple color products. So sometimes the attention span isn't huge. And it's a very difficult story if you say, I have these, this is my color product portfolio. We can do that one. We can look into this one. Maybe you need this one. So it's a very difficult conversation for a channel partner to have with a customer, especially if you don't put these things into context. So one of the main reasons from the channel point of view why we came up with this concept is that it just makes more sense if you tell a customer why these things are needed. There are 6 C's. There are some core color management techniques that are just needed, but there's also other elements that really play a role, like how well is your printer able to self-calibrate itself. So this is definitely a feature that you should look out when you purchase your next printer. Or do you have your color really under control over time? Or is your interpretation of PDF files compliant with what the creator really had in mind if we think about transparencies, overprints, embedded profiles, and so on. So it is, from my point of view, a much better concept to say, we explain all of this with the 6 C's. They all, and that's the reason why you see this behind us as a circle, they all interact with each other. Only if you have all of them under control, then your color is under control. And what is the motivation to get color under control? Yeah, you want to have a happy print buyer, right? You don't want to have any discussions. You don't want prints to be rejected. You don't want to waste time and cost by reprinting it. And you want a protection against the competition. So it's much easier as a conversation to get this across to a customer. And there are also different customer groups. I would say some of them are really educated. They use color management on a daily basis. They know what they are doing and they know what the benefit is. Even they sometimes miss on the control and the compliance. So even for them, there's something in there. And then we see that on the customer side, there is a relatively large group of people who know that they need to do something. So print buyers are complaining. They're demanding certain things and they are reacting, but sometimes they're reacting in a not so efficient way. They do color management by eye. They change gradation curves. These are things that lead to multiple iterations and typically have a subjective outcome that often doesn't make the print buyer happy. So also for them, explaining what we need in the context of the 6 Cs makes it easier to understand. And just because it's 6 elements doesn't mean that it's complicated, because there are easy solutions for each of them, which is an important point to understand.
So, well, accuracy and consistency obviously is super critical in commercial print and anything that goes out the door, right?
Yeah.
If the first print doesn't match the last print, if it's not matching the logo colors, problems, right? And to your point, that means reproducing, having to do it again and again until you get it right, and that can be costly, and it can really affect your reputation as a printer. Color's always been important, though. What is it that pushed you guys over, into this at this point? Why now? What was it about the timing of this?
So there's
Kerry.
a few answers to that. Okay, so there's a few answers to that. I mean, color has always been important, but recently we have, and Roland's probably got these statistics at the top of his head because he always has. There's been quite a few research points and data points where we found out that, in terms of print buyers, they have color as the top of their list when it comes to choosing a print provider. We also know that when print buyers have been asked, what would you like your print provider to improve on? They say either color consistency or color accuracy. So one big reason is kind of recent research. We felt that, it was time to do something that made the whole topic more digestible, less scary, and therefore more people would embrace it. So Roland, if you have any of those stats on the top of your head.
Yeah, actually, I made a note about it. I didn't have them in my head, but I can tell you, sure. So there were recent industry studies that just kind of proved the point. As Kerry said, this is a problem that's going on forever, but this study was really interesting because it pointed out that the number one reason for print buyers to pick a certain print provider is high quality color printing. 37% of them mentioned that. Then print buyers want print providers to A, improve color consistency, and B, offer better color matching. In both of these cases, 39% of them mentioned that. On the other hand, only 20% of the print providers see the need for that. So there's really this discrepancy, this delta in between that. And that is something that we need to address. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding. People think, this is going to be more complicated. Is it really worth it? And there are some really fully automated solutions to get stuff under control that many people, I think, are not aware of. So it's really, there's this educational part in the concept as well. It's truly neutral. All of these 6 Cs can be covered, of course, with EFI Fiery products. We have very good solutions for that, but there are competitive products that fit into these areas as well. It all starts with understanding what you need and then how you can solve that problem, I would say.
Yeah, and to add to that as well, so as Roland says, we have research and numbers to tell us that there is a discrepancy there, but there's also, as Roland mentions as well, quite a few new technological advancements, if you like, in terms of color recently, that mean it because every time there is an innovation in color, we're basically making it easier and easier to get faster, better color. So, and it's kind of an opportunity to remind people of that and tell them where this technology sits and so on. So it's just, it's multiple reasons. So the main motivation is to make it easier to understand.
So how on that note, how is it getting easier? What are some examples of that?
I can give you a few examples. So one really good example, I would say, in the area of PDF processing is Fiery Job Expert. That's a new tool that we created. Basically, when it comes to the correct interpretation of a PDF, there are multiple settings that you can pick as a user in the DFE. Or if you use Fiery Job Expert, it's an intelligent analysis of the PDF, and it picks the right values in the DFE for you. So all you really do is literally 2 clicks to enable it, and then it's permanently on. Whatever you import is going to be interpreted correctly. That's it. Can't be easier than that. And then it's going to be PDF X compliant, and you print exactly what the customer gave you. Another example would be typically, creating a really good custom calibration and custom profile, and that is what we all should do in order to get the best out of the media, if you care about that, is a fairly complicated process, or it can be if you want to get the most out of it. But we came up with a very new technology that I personally see as a little revolution, and we call it one-step color management and zero-touch recalibration. What it does is, on selected engines, you basically say, I have a new media. You insert it into your printer and you say, I want to get this one ready for production. And then a wizard is kicked off that uses an inline measurement instrument, and it does everything by itself. It's fully automated. You can go drink a coffee, work on a different system. You can watch a YouTube video from Andy, and when you come back, you have a calibration, you have a profile, and it's all in place. And that's not all. We took it even a step further. There is zero-touch recalibration. So there is a scheduled recalibration where we make sure that you never leave the green zone, because after a certain time, after so and so many days, it will print, measure, and apply a recalibration without any interaction of the operator. It just happens. So this printer is going to be calibrated at any point of time. And a third example would be EFI Color Guard, which is a cloud solution which automates color verification. So if you want to make sure that, you just created a calibration and profile, colors are perfect. We all would expect that. But is it still true in a week from now, in 4 weeks from now, in 6 months? You don't know unless you verify. And the situation we find in the market very often is that some of the customers have the ability to verify, but they don't do it because nobody and nothing is reminding them. And ColorGuard is the cloud solution that notifies users that they need to do a verification. It schedules out verifications, and it can even fully automate them if you work with an inline measurement instrument. It also supports handheld measurement instrument, but just bringing the automation and the reminding into that topic is a game changer. These are just 3 simple examples on how it can be made really easy.
So this is a big program, right? This is, the consistency that you're pushing, not pushing, just helping, I would say, is maybe a better way to phrase that, right? You're helping your resellers, your customers and users, all of them with this program. So, obviously you're on shows like mine talking about it. What other initiatives do you guys have? Are we going to see a big press push? Is there going to be press release? Are there going to be, what are you guys doing beyond, this show to kind of get the word out?
Yeah, beyond chatting to you, we do have a fair few things on the go, if you like. So one big initiative I would say is we do have a World of Fiery webinar happening in a few weeks' time now, on the 16th of November. And World of Fiery webinars, I think most people in the channel will have heard of them. They are, they're a live webinar, and at the end we have the chance for people to submit questions and we answer them live. So it's this latest one is all about the 6 C's, so it's just dedicated to that. So we have invited all our partners, tens of thousands of customers, and the partners can also invite their customers if they wish. So yes, it's an open house in that regard. So that's one thing. We do have a web page also already on EFI.com that's dedicated to the 6 C's of color management, where people can go to learn more, see how everything breaks down. That links through to e-learning and so on, which is also going to be broken down into the 6 C's. So it's all connected. And of course we will be doing things such as articles and advertorials and so on. So the usual stuff. But I would say the World of Fire webinar is kind of the next big thing that we're tackling.
Excellent. So I guess we're wrapping up. We've kind of come towards the end of this. The 6 C's is a concept. You guys are you're marketing it. Is it officially launched now? It sounds like you've got since you've got the web page and the webinar coming up. Is this the big kickoff? Is this the big initial push with this, or has this been out for a little bit already?
It hasn't been out long, so it really is just a matter of a few months old, I would say. But yeah, I would say the World of Fiery webinar is kind of the biggest kickoff or introduction to the market. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
I would say that's the next.
We can get we'll post links to that in the bottom of this video. So anyone watching this, if you want to attend that, we encourage you to attend that. This is a really big new initiative for EFI, and I think we're gonna see a lot of this. So get in now and learn it now while it's still new, and maybe get a little advantage on some of the others who are the stragglers, right? So this has been great. I really appreciate you guys coming on today. I'll give you guys each a chance to kind of wrap up and leave us with some final thoughts. How about you, Roland?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, many thanks for this opportunity, Andy. That's I greatly appreciate. I hope that we can publish this story in various formats. I mean, we're talking to OEMs already, to partners, and it's starting to make clicks. So there will be the World of Fiery, there will be press articles, and we hope that it makes a difference for both the channel partners as well as the end customers, in also giving a little bit of education, making things easier and more effective than it is today. And yeah, if you guys would join us on the World of Fire, that would be awesome.
That would be great. I will definitely be on that, and hopefully we'll get you guys some of our followers, some of our subscribers on that as well. Kerry, how about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so yeah, as Roland said, great to be on here. If somebody does want to take a look, the URL above me, fiery.efi.com/6Cs, gets you to most things that are currently available in relation to the 6Cs. So that's a fairly easy one to remember. So if somebody wants to make a start, then that's the place to go.
Well, it's certainly a memorable name, right? So it's I mean, let's look at it. You guys have been one of the leaders, one of the most significant leaders in graphic arts and commercial print for many years. The DFEs, that's a world that you guys essentially are one of the ones who created it, right? And you're one of the last ones doing it at this point. So you understand the technology, you understand the market needs. Both of you have a very decent background and consistent background with this company. So you've seen the evolution, you've seen it grow, you've seen what your customers have grown into, and so this is just one of many I'd say really strong initiatives EFI has put forward over the years, right? And you've always kind of been that held that mantle, that carried that torch, that really I think leads in that space. And so I think this is another example of you guys looking at a potential issue, or maybe let's call it an opportunity, where you can make things easier, you can streamline things, you can and help your customers understand and quantify and explain better, right? And just all the things that we discussed today. It's a really nice program. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on your site to learn more about it, and I look forward to learning more in the World of Fire webinar that you guys have coming. So thanks so much for coming on. This was great. I hope it didn't keep you guys too long. It's not quite as late over here as it is for you. It's late, and it's a Friday, so I am literally the only thing standing between you and a wine or a beer or some kind of cocktail. So thank you guys so much for this, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. We'll see you at EFI Connect not too long from now.
Thanks
Perfect.
again, Andy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.